Yeah, Damon. So you just heard everything that we gave people. We taught them how to build this entire business. But now we'd like to talk about how you got started. Because, I mean, a lot of these people are just getting started from scratch. And, you've had so much success and everyone sees you on TV and we see you on social media. But you got started from some pretty humble beginnings in business also. So if you don't mind, just kind of tell everyone, how did you get started?
Yeah, I think that I'll share with you how I got started. The abbreviated version, I'm going to share with you a couple of minutes. Listen, every one of us has 10 stories, but I was working at Red Lobster, and I found that there was this community that I really loved. It was hip hop, and I found that designers weren't supporting, or they didn't like to acknowledge that kids who love hip hop, no matter what color they were, loved hip hop, and they didn't want them wearing their clothes. And it dawned on me, wait a minute, I've loved this new emerging music at the time called hip hop ever since I was 10 years old. I've loved fashion since I was 10 years old. I can actually put these two things together, and I can find a way to find myself and be able to share it with other people and enrich their lives. So I took a couple of hats. It was literally Good Friday, 1989, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I stood outside on a corner and I sold a bunch of hats that I had made at home. I made about 80 of them. Now, I really made the 80 hats. It kind of looked like a ski cap without the ball with a string on top. I made them because one had cost 20 to buy, and I realized if I just bought a roll of fabric for $40, I can make so many hats that I wouldn't have to keep buying them. But I bought the same damn roll of fabric, so now I had 80 hats that all looked like the same damn candy cane, striped candy cane. So I stood in the corner and I sold $800 worth of hats in 1 hour. And I realized at that point that I was never going to work for anybody ever again for the rest of my life. I made this with my own hands, and it was my ability to make the consumer understand the value that I was adding to them. Shortly after that, I would fail many, many times in business, and I would close food down 3 times from 89 to 92. After 92, I brought in some friends around me because I didn't have enough knowledge to run the business just by myself. Like we're sharing with everybody else, you don't always have enough knowledge. Turned my house into a factory, slept in sleeping bags next to the sewing machines, but all the meanwhile, I was getting the product out in videos. I was making t-shirts and hats, and I was using another person's platform, music videos, to get it out. Hence, you're hearing a lot of things that we're talking about prior to this. I would then end up getting a bunch of orders, like $300,000 in orders. I would end up doing a distribution deal with Samsung. Again, distribution. I needed somebody else, Samsung, and the business would grow to approximately $350, $400 million a year, and we've done about right now about $8 billion globally. But here's the lessons you can learn from that story. If you really look at it, I failed a bunch of times because I didn't have experts around me to show me what I was doing wrong. I was using another person's platform, meaning the music companies were putting out music artists, and I didn't have to put out the commercial. They were hitting a targeted audience that I knew I needed to hit, and all I needed to do was have a shirt to put on them. When I first started making shirts, I didn't make my own shirts. I went to what we would commonly call today American Apparel. I went and got blanks from other companies and just put my name on it. I didn't have facilities to manufacture these things. And then later on, after my house, like many entrepreneurs, was filled with boxes, I realized I need somebody else's ability to distribute. And that's exactly the story we're talking about on Amazon right here. We're using somebody's platform. And millions, billions of people are visiting the platform, or billions of clicks, whatever the case is. We're using their distribution. We're finding other people's products like I did. Now, remember, it wasn't as easy as it is today. When I sold you a shirt 30 years ago, 25 years ago, I had to find you. I had to get on the subway and then go to your house and knock on the door and ask you, would you like to buy another one? There wasn't the internet or social media or content. I just had to knock on your door and hope you didn't think I was coming to the house to rob you. You don't have to do that. And I think that I love the fact of how you're showing people how to use all these things with this right here.